this video we are going to be seeing what would happen if Europe had a kind of civil war. This idea is from Addis Pro. Check his channel out. It's really cool. I got a lot of inspiration from it. And so let's just get right into it. I will not be using Turkey, or anything else that is mentioned on this map that is not technically like all European, because if I make a part 2 and stuff. I am counting Cyprus as European, so if there's any disputes there, that happens. This is totally not realistic whatsoever. Like, in no world would Russia and the United Kingdom like work together to defeat France and Germany. Okay, and also another unrealistic thing is if the Vatican were to be in a civil war and Italy and San Marino chose to be on one team, it would totally not go to like the other team. But just for this, that's what's gonna be happening. So let's get right into it. We're gonna be starting with a fight between Spain and Portugal. Spain is trying to annex Portugal, and it's like kind of working, but not entirely. So there's not really any movement that I can show here. So there's that. So there's a Spain and Portugal thing happening right here. But over in the Italy region, obviously Vatican is annexed by Italy and San Marino, a combined force. They then move all of their forces along with Slovenia and Hungary's to this front line right here, and they annex Switzerland and Liechtenstein. Austria is somewhat surrounded, but puts up a very good defense. Now, for up here in the Baltics, is Lithuania and Latvia kind of have like an all-out brawl in a way, while Russia and Belarus are focused on Ukraine. And somehow Lithuania is captured by Latvia, which again, this does not necessarily have to be, realistic, because obviously Lithuania is actually stronger than Latvia in real life. Yeah, also there's gonna be no factoring in the environment and stuff like that, because I don't really want to. And now in the southeast of Europe, in the Balkans area, we have Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Bulgaria going on a full-out, I guess, like spree on Kosovo, North Macedonia, and Albania, getting those. Greece, again, holds very well, but some soldiers from Cyprus have managed to land. Greece is, again, putting up a very good offense. Over here in the United Kingdom, Ireland takes over Northern Ireland, but the United Kingdom, with a combined force of Iceland and the Netherlands and Belgium, managed to take over Ireland, and they managed to annex it. That is good news for the right up north, but in the south, Portugal is finally annexed by Spain, making it so that they can focus all of their attention on Italy. So yes, as I said, all of Germany, France, Spain, and what used to be Portugal, are now focusing all their troops on getting to Italy and reliberating Switzerland and Liechtenstein. They start by taking over Monaco, and then Liechtenstein. The Italian forces in Switzerland defend it very well. Now over to Russia and the Ukrainian conflict. Belarus and Russia send an all-out attack onto Ukraine and push them back very far, but Ukraine still holds. Meanwhile, Romania takes Moldova with very little resistance. We have Sweden trying to take over Norway and almost succeeding before the Finnish and a few Russian troops come back over to annex Sweden. Now, I feel like the red team started with a bit of a disadvantage, yet they are totally making it up. But unfortunately, they are going to suffer a few more losses, with France, Luxembourg, and Germany taking a few troops to get Belgium, but the Netherlands is still holding somehow again. They do manage to take Switzerland, but Italy is okay. Speaking of Italy, they send a few troops down. You guys can see a few troops down to Malta to take that over. We have Poland and Germany working on a combined effort to take over Czechia, which goes very well, and they try to take over Slovakia, but they cannot pass the border because of heavy Slovak resistance. But over here in the Balkans, a combined effort from Cyprus and all of the Red Team Balkans take over Greece and Croatia. This looks very good for the Red Team, but again, they will suffer a few more losses, such as the Netherlands, Slovakia, Hungary, and Slovenia, which does push them back a bit. So now there are two fronts. We have the Eurasian front right here, and the Balkan front right here. A few troops from France managed to land in the Vatican and briefly recapture it. If I could, and briefly reliberate it before it is taken back over by Italy. Red. They do make a landing in France. It is very, very easily wiped out. So Ireland and the UK are trying to get an easier target. And you see, like, because of this gigantic, ocean, they cannot really land anywhere that easily. And Germany, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands heavily fortify that whole coast. So now, Russia is almost done with Ukraine, and along with the Balkans, doing heavy bombardments. I cannot speak today. And Ukraine eventually falls, leading to the connecting of this whole front. However, the Baltic states make a gigantic gain in Russian territory that eventually leads to a stalemate. Their goal is to liberate Finland and then potentially the other Nordic states. Also, a combined effort between France, Germany, Poland, and Czechia manages to liberate Denmark from the Red control. This is a massive blow for the Reds because Denmark was the only real land barrier, or like the only real thing that has a land border to any other blue states, and they really needed that. Stalingrad is captured, though I cannot show it on this map because it is part of Russia, obviously. Speaking of Russia, they manage to somehow be able to send their troops to the Balkans without losing a lot of land. And the Balkans managed to retake Slovenia, Hungary, and Slovakia. However, the Iberian Peninsula decides to launch a very secret operation to retake Malta and Cyprus, which goes very well, and the Red Team does not even realize it somehow. A combined effort between France, Germany, and Switzerland make a landing in Ireland and liberate it, with heavy resistance from the Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK. Now here's where it gets interesting, okay? So the UK is now split in they have different ways of thinking now. So to better show that, I split all of the little, countries inside of a country up, and now we have the divided UK. And this is a new front that is going to be very annoying for the red team, but pretty good for the blue team. They try to make a landing in Wales, but that does not work at all. Iceland does send troops to try to free Northern Ireland and Scotland. That also does not work. Poland and Lithuania spend most of their military budget to wipe out Belarus, and most of the blue team is now sending troops over to be able to defend it because Belarus has a great strategic position and is a way to tie all of this together, plus Stalingrad. Stalingrad is still part of that. However, again, the Balkans managed to take Austria, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland again, and make heavy progress into Germany. The blue team sends as many troops as possible because if they are to make it into Germany, the two fronts will be divided, and that will not be good at all. As I said, all the blue states except for these, the former UK things in Ireland. They are making a very heavy attack into England, and they did manage to capture Wales. England is most likely going to have to do something, or else they're going to surrender. Speaking of surrendering, that is exactly what Iceland does. They're experiencing very heavy losses, and nobody's even doing anything with them. They won't get any territorial gains, so they do surrender. Seeing that, most of the micronations, such as Andorra, Luxembourg, the Vatican, San Marino, and Monaco, surrender, plus the blue states in the south. With all of this surrendering and stuff, many nations, such as Portugal, Czechia, Hungary, and Serbia, prepare to surrender as well. Now, Russia does not want that to happen, so they launch an attack into Estonia, which is very successful, and also take Latvia again. However, the British force, the Scottish and Welsh and Irish forces take England, and eventually they all surrender. And yeah, so they all surrender and reunite as well. Now, Italy and Switzerland decide to make a final push towards Germany and end up taking it. Now, normally after a success like this, they would keep going, but both of them decide to surrender, also leading to Austria's surrender and Liechtenstein's. Now the Balkans and also the rest of the blue team can see that this war is starting to die out when Portugal and the other countries do, such as Belgium and Netherlands and Denmark and Norway and Sweden, all surrender. And so they think that the blue team is more weak than ever and decide to attack it again. They connect the fronts with Germany by taking over Czechia and Poland, and also Latvia, which surrounds Belarus, and they are forced to surrender as well. This also leads Germany, Czechia, and Poland to surrender after that. Now, the bad thing about this is there's no way for Spain and France to legally attack these people or these states by going through, except for through the Mediterranean Sea, which is heavily blockaded by the Balkans. But they do manage to actually get over here and around the Nordic states and make a landing in Lithuania, taking it over, and then getting the rest of the Baltics. And no surprise to anyone, all the Baltic states surrender after that. Finland does as well, and then you start to see kind of the undoing of the war. Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, Slovenia, Hungary, and Slovakia all surrender within days of each other, which just leaves a few of the Balkans, Ukraine, and Russia. Oh, did I say Ukraine? I meant Ukraine and Moldova actually also did surrender because they never wanted to be on that side anyways. They were taken over, and Russia, for some reason, let them. Speaking of Russia, they go through a bit of a revolt, in which the citizens take over and participate in some sort of a good revolution in a way, which makes Russia surrender. Meaning it's just the Balkans versus France and Spain, um, because Romania, Bulgaria, and Greece are just leaving. Now, to get a swift end to this conflict, Spain and France send a gigantic force through the Mediterranean to land in Albania and North Macedonia. This now becomes the final front of the war. They take over Montenegro, and then Kosovo eventually will surrender. France, Spain, and the other Balkans will also all surrender. And there are a few treaties in this in which Spain and France get Greece and the rest of the Balkans. They kind of split that between each other, along with Hungary, Austria, Czechia, Slovakia getting a bit of that as well. Cyprus is controlled by Spain as well, and Portugal is controlled by the UK. Russia decides to get out of the communist mindset and becomes a capitalist country, manufacturing many, many products and becoming a huge trading partner of the United States. And this concludes the war. If Europe had a civil war, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for watching.